Hello, my name is Frederick Banker, and I wanted to talk about what's been going on in Iran and how that's affecting the United States and China. So far, as a recording of this video, there has been a ceasefire in the war between the United States and Iran, with the Strait of Hormuz not only blockaded by Iran but also the United States, and this has caused oil prices to kind of rise up and then go down as time goes on. And we're just going to have to see how things go in the front in terms of talks. Personally, I'm a little skeptical and a little bit of cautious in terms of the talks, mainly because I I do not trust the current Iranian regime to keep their promises, whether it be with nuclear weapons or with the treatment of their people, which is the reason, or one of the main reasons, I wanted there to be some form of action against the Islamic Republic of Iran because of what happened to, the thousands of people that happened all because they protested. And when I look at the Iranian situation now, I can say that it's only a matter of time to see who kind of blinks first, because the Iranian war isn't really as popular here as, say, the extraction of President Maduro in Venezuela, because that was quick, that was easy, and people like those quick and easy victories. But I knew from the get-go that this wasn't going to be one of them, and that this was going to be long and prolonged. Maybe not as long as, say, Afghanistan, but definitely one that would take at least a year, perhaps even more. But we're just going to have to see how things go, as I can only hope that there can be a legitimate regime change for a government that can be actually representative of the Iranian people, and not simply one that treats its people as human shields. But to get on with that, we need to talk about China and what they've been doing. And while China has been more neutral in this war, they definitely have tried to help them out in terms of air defenses, and allegedly there were systems, weapons and defense systems caught by the Americans during the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. So it's certain that China definitely has a side, but as of right now, they haven't made any like explicit remarks. They've made like broad claims against, global belligerence, which is kind of ironic given this is coming from China. But they certainly have been moving towards helping out Iran, but more or less trying to like do it while they keep their hands clean in a way. But this also affects China in terms of what it could mean for their economy if they do decide to take more belligerent acts, because while the Strait of Hormuz is an important way for China to get their oil, the most important way is the Strait of Malacca, which, if you don't know, the Strait of Malacca is between Indonesia and, I believe, Malaysia, and that controls, if I'm remembering correctly, about 80% of oil exports to China. And this has been a wide known thing of how reliant China is on the Strait of Malacca, that both the United States and China have been making their moves around it. And just as recently as this month, the United States and Indonesia have signed a defense deal, and this is more than likely around the Strait of Malacca, and how the United States could threaten to, use it as kind of like to get China into a chokehold to prevent them to do any sort of belligerent actions against, let's say, Taiwan or the Philippines or Japan. This, of course, puts China in sort of a bind, because now they're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, given that Trump is supposed to visit China about May 14th to the 15th, And so we're just going to have to see how two of the world's biggest powers are going to meet and are going to conduct themselves in trade. Personally, I'm more favorable with the United States. I think they're in a better position, but not in like a certain way. I think it's more of like a 60-40 sort of way, in that while America does have the advantage, I do think that could slip at any moment. But personally, it's more of a matter of time to see what's going to happen. I think the fog of war has kind of caused people to get confused, and I don't think that there's going to be something too drastic at any time soon. I think it's safe to say that this conflict is mainly isolated between the United States, Iran, and maybe Israel, but it seems like they're kind of letting America do what they want to do with Iran. But for right now, I can only hope that Iran could have a more peaceful regime, one that's more targeted towards development and the betterment of their people, rather than just funding proxies around the world and causing terror throughout the globe. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that China will keep out of the Iran war? Do you think the United States can wrap up the war before they have to visit China? Personally, I think that's unlikely, but we don't know. But let me know in the comments below, leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.